What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds, where today we're back with probably at this point the most problematic car I have ever owned on this channel. And that's saying something, because since 2013 I have had hundreds of cars on this channel, hundreds of cars that I have owned personally and through my business. And throughout all of those experiences, I can't think of a single car that's worse than this one. Now, there's a lot of people out there that actually love the Dodge Charger Daytona, the EV, and at first I did too. And that was short-lived because it started having problems immediately. It's been in the dealership more than it's been out of the dealership. Even after just taking a 1,400-mile road trip, the car only has 5,000 miles on the odometer, and it's not because I don't want to drive it. It's not because I don't enjoy the car. It's not because I don't like the car, or at least the idea of it. It's because the car is relatively unreliable, or at least it has been in the past. So far, during this last 1,400-mile road trip, I'm happy to report that the car itself actually did quite well. The car itself, it performed flawlessly during the entire trip, with the exception of the GPS. And I read through the comments of the video where I showed you guys how problematic it was trying to drive just a simple, 714 miles. It was nothing but trouble, and it had nothing to do with the car, the mechanics. It was the GPS and the charging infrastructure that gave me more of a headache than anything else. Aside from that, the car did beautifully. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's the software and the charging infrastructure that absolutely sucks. Now, I have not driven this car since I got back from Indiana, which was yesterday, okay? Car's been sitting here. Today, I need to go swap it out for my new truck, which is down at AAR headquarters. And that's when I loaded up. Okay, let me show you. I loaded this thing up, getting ready to go. I'm able to fit two ginormous 275 15-inch tires in here. I've got two boxes that have 4 rims. I got center caps. I got tons of stuff back here, and I still got plenty of room. Like, when I tell you this car is amazing, it really is. I could almost fit the last 2 tires, but not quite. So I've got it loaded up. I'm ready to take it down to AAR headquarters, and I'm gonna go pick up my truck. It's fully charged. I made sure that I kept it plugged in since I got home, and that's when I notice this number on the left. Oh, it went away. Of course it did. Okay, the miles are 5,832 miles. This is a problem, guys. This number right here, 217 is my range. Something's terribly wrong with that. Something is terribly, terribly wrong with that, guys. My typical range on this car is 250 miles. I routinely get 250 miles without problems, even on the highway. I've never had an issue getting 250 miles out of this car. So to come out today, nothing has changed. It's been plugged in. Everything has been good with the car. And to find out that I just lost all those miles, guys, something is wrong. Is there somebody in the EV world that can explain to me why my car lost 33 miles of range? Guys, when you're talking about a car that only gets 250 miles to begin with, 33 miles? That is insane. That's like, what is that, 13% or something of the battery's total capacity, the car's total range, gone overnight? Now, I already know some of you are going to say, but wait a minute, Randy, I know what the problem is. You've been charging it to 100%, and you're not supposed to charge cars to 100%. It's detrimental to the battery. You're right. You're absolutely right. However, I don't care, because the car is a lease. I don't own it. I don't ever intend on buying it out of the lease. So I don't care about the battery. I really don't care about this car at all, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's just something to get out of some negative equity. And over the next 3 years, I'll make some videos, and then I'm done. The video content on this car has already paid me over $15,000, and I've only owned it since April. So you do the math. I'm already coming out pretty good on this car. So, oh, my wrap is coming undone. I didn't know there was a seam here. That's great. Yeah, the wrap is collecting a bunch of debris and dirt underneath it. Again, don't care. I just don't care about this car. So yes, over extended periods of time, charging it to 100% can degrade the battery. However, the car it's new. It's only got 5,800 miles on it. There is no possible way charging it to 100% would have cost it 33 miles of range. So that's not it. I've also seen a lot of the comments where people are really pissed off because there's only, I'll be honest with you, there's only a few people that get in the comments and they're really upset about what I have to say about this car, because I started out loving the car. I started out being a proponent for this car. I really did. I started out saying Dodge really did good on this, and I stand by that to some extent. The looks, phenomenal. I love it. This front spoiler, such a unique design to this car. I love it. The big bulging hood, love it. All of the lines, the flaring of the fenders, the big wheels, tires, the big brakes, the interior, everything about this car is just chef's kiss. I love it. It's just, as with most Dodge products that we have purchased lately, it just doesn't work right, you know? And it's unfortunate because it could be a great car. Unfortunately, it's just not at this point. Now, this car gets a ton of looks. It gets a ton of attention. I get people all the time coming up to me and just telling me how much they love the car. They think it's really cool that I did this, you know, kind of throwback on a new generation Dodge Charger. And I appreciate that. And I honestly think the car looks great. It came out exactly the way I expected it to. It looks exactly the way I wanted it to. But at the end of the day, I can't get over how problematic this thing has been from the very beginning. And that's why I wanted to come out with a video and say, after only 5,800 miles, I can honestly tell you this is the worst car I have ever owned. And I don't care who that pisses off. There are a few people in the comments that they love to say that I'm doing this all wrong, that the Charger's not working is my fault. This is self-inflicted, if you will. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've always been a straight shooter. This car was intended to bring negative press to YouTube. As it turns out, negativity brings in views, okay? And I saw several of these Chargers online on the forums, and I saw people having tons of problems with them, and I thought, man, this is a content gold mine if it's really as bad as people say it is. So it's not like I went into this expecting the car was going to be great. In fact, I expected the exact opposite because of everything I was seeing online about it, and the car did not fail to disappoint. It has provided all the views I expected it to, and then some. But here's the kicker. I fully expected, after making all those videos and being able to take it back to the dealership, I thought for sure that over time, this car would get better. And with the software updates, in a way, it has. But at the same time, as you can see today, yet again, we have another problem. I'm just trying to go run some errands in this car. Something very simple. I'm loading up a few things. I'm going to go take it to my other property, pick up my truck, and come back. This thing's going to sit out front of AAR headquarters as advertisement for the YouTube channel, and that's it. Okay, I went to do something really simple, and I come out and find out that I have lost 33 miles of range on a fully charged battery overnight for no reason at all. Yet again, another major problem with the car. And the damn GPS that will send you to chargers that don't work. It'll send you to places way out in the middle of nowhere. And the best part is when you're traveling and you're going down the road, you would expect that it's going to be able to locate all the chargers for you. It doesn't. It will show you there's no chargers along your route. You have to actually get to where you're running low on range. Then you have to exit your navigation. Then you have to go back into the navigation and search for a charging connector somewhere near you and hope and pray that there is one. And if that doesn't work, then you have to separately pull out your phone and you have to go through some apps. I've got Electrify America, I've got PlugShare, I've got Francis Energy, I've got Blink. You know, I've got all your typical PlugShare, I've got EVgo, I've got tons of apps. Tesla, the Tesla app as well. If the car can't figure it out, which a lot of times it doesn't, then you have to pull out your phone and you have to manually go through each one of these apps and try to find a charger near you. Then you have to hope and pray that that charger actually works. So even though I expected the car was going to give us a lot of problems and it was going to generate a lot of revenue and views for the channel, it did all of that perfectly. I was rooting for the car from the beginning. I knew that it was going to be rough because it needed a lot of software updates. But I thought for sure, once Dodge got in here and started updating the car, things would progressively get better and we would see less and less problems. And I'll tell you something, the people that love this car, they love it to a fault, okay? They love the car to the point where they can't see anything wrong with it. They won't accept that there's anything wrong with it, to the point where I have people that are obsessed with this car that own them. They're like, I traveled 4,000 miles across the country. I've never had a problem with my Charger. Good for you. Here's the thing about cars that some of you may not be aware of. Every car is different. I don't care how they're built. I know they're all built on an assembly line. I know all the parts should be identical. Everything should be the same, but it's not. It's not. That's why you have cars that end up becoming lemons, and most of them aren't. There are some cars that just don't quite fit in. You know, they don't quite make the cut, but somehow they get passed on down the line anyway. Now, I'm not saying that's this particular car. I honestly don't know. It seems as if the quality of the Chargers, the electric versions, has just been non-existent. Like quality, there isn't any quality. It's an oxymoron. I love the car, man. I do. And I get a lot of people hating on me because they love the car and they are offended that I'm coming out here and sharing my experience. They think that I am driving people away from EVs. Let me tell you something, guys. My little channel here, I'm not driving people away from electric vehicles, all right? EVs are driving people away from electric vehicles. Believe it or not, most people don't want an EV. Most people never wanted an EV. You know why the EVs have become so big lately? It's because of the previous administration, okay? It's because, and I know some of you don't want to hear that. That's fine. I'm not trying to make this political. I'm simply telling the truth. EVs were being shoved down our throats. We didn't want them. We weren't interested in them. Most of us still don't want them and still aren't interested in them. Thankfully, it looks like EVs are going to take a back burner for a while, at least for a little while, right? And we're going to get back to making gasoline cars, which is what I prefer. With that said, I don't want anybody to think I'm an EV hater. I love EVs for what they are. They're completely different. Everybody thinks they're similar in some ways to gas. They're nothing. EVs are nothing like gas cars. I mean, nothing. And in some ways that's good, and in some ways that's really bad. In good ways, like instant torque, no shifting through gears, less moving parts, right? It sounds great. No maintenance. That's a big one. No maintenance. You don't have to change your oil. You don't have to change your transmission fluid. Your brake pads last forever. That's actually not true. And they're more reliable than gas cars. Well, that's actually not true either. I was actually a victim of believing that myself back in the day, until I did some research recently, and the statistics show clearly that even though EVs have less moving parts, they are far more unreliable than gasoline cars. And a lot of people say, well, they're cheaper to own and maintain because you don't have any maintenance. That's not true. Let me tell you, one of the maintenance items you're going to face with an EV are tires. Tires and tires and tires and tires and tires. I mean, you will go through so many tires. Why? These cars are freaking heavy. These things have batteries that weigh somewhere around between 1,000 and 1,300 pounds on top of the weight of the car. 1,300 pounds for a battery. In this car's case, a back motor, a front motor. You have all the coolant pumps, coolant hoses, the heater assembly. There are so many parts that make these cars work. They are ungodly heavy. Let's not forget, to buy a new EV, it's more expensive than buying a new gas car. All right, a new Tesla, easily you're going to spend $35,000 or so on a new Tesla. And take a look at this one. This car is a perfect example. This one was close to $80,000 when it first came out, before they realized that nobody was going to buy them, and they basically started having to give them away. But even now, if you go online, you start looking for the RTs and Scat Packs, some of these leftover cars, you're going to find the Scat Packs are still trying to get 60 grand out of these, and RTs are still bringing $35,000 to $40,000. So let's fire this thing up. I'm dying of a heat stroke in here. Great, it's not going to start. There it is. The number's not going to change. 217. 27. I can't accept that. I cannot accept that. I don't understand. I'm not in sport mode either. Let's go to drive modes. That'll pull up a screen over here. Let's close that. So I'm in auto mode right now. Okay, this is like, aside from eco mode, this is the easiest mode there is on the car. Even in eco mode, I'm at 228 when I used to be at 250. 228 without eco mode. 217. That's really disappointing. That tells me that there is something very wrong with my battery. Which brings me to the next problem with electric cars, the batteries. These are things that people just tend to neglect. They don't want to talk about. People that love EVs don't want to talk about this. How much is a battery for an EV? Well, I know what the cost is because I have had to get a quote for one of my Teslas before. A quote for a new battery back in the day was $20,000+. Now that's changed a little bit today. For the same Tesla Model S, like a P90D or whatever that I had, the battery replacement's around $16,000. So the price has come down, but has it come down enough to make it make sense? No. Who is ever, if you've got a 2013 Tesla Model S, 2013, okay, this car is 13 years old. Are you gonna go out and spend $16,000? Who in their right mind is gonna spend $16,000 plus tax on a battery for an old car with miles on it? That doesn't make any sense. You can literally go out and buy another Tesla Model S, P80, P85, P90, whatever, for the same price or less than you could pay for that battery. Motors for these things, which do fail. They do. People don't want to talk about it, but they do fail. Motors, you're easily looking at $6,000 per motor. Guys, when people tell you that EVs are cheaper and they're more reliable and they're maintenance free, they are straight up lying to you. And that's before we even get in to the problems of charging. Listen, if you're like me and you charge at home or at your business 90% of the time, it's not a problem. And I'll be the first to admit that. Charging is usually not an issue for me because I plug in at the house and I plug in at my shop. The car is always charged and I never have to worry about it. The problem is that 10% that we travel. And in my case, it's a long distance. 700 miles back to Indiana and 700 miles home. That is a long distance to travel to find out that the charger you used last time that worked no longer works. However, one of the chargers that didn't work last time now does work. You never know what charger, you can't rely on them. If it's not Tesla, I want to make this very clear. If it is not Tesla, you are screwed. All right, I don't care. I've had so many people in the comments telling me how great this car is. This is a wonderful car. It's a great car. Never had a problem, and you've never had a problem charging. You've driven across the country 4,000 miles. And you've never had a charging problem. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. Listen to me. Bullshit. Bullshit. You did not travel 4,000 miles across the country and have working chargers every single time with no problems. Let me tell you, I didn't even film the trip home. Monkey Wrench Mike was nervous as hell because there was twice on the way home. We got this thing down to 1 mile of range. I'm not. You think I'm lying. Some of these people say I'm lying. I'm making this. Why would Monkey Wrench Mike lie? He didn't have a reason to lie. If you don't believe me, go find one of his videos and ask him, did you guys really run that car down to 1 mile? Yes. Yes, because the car is nuts. Sometimes it'll say, you've got 250 miles of range. And generally speaking, that is accurate. But then there's other times that it's like, suddenly it's like, whoops, I don't know. You're driving, you're on a road trip, but you didn't get that 250 miles of range. Now, that can be because of a lot of varying conditions like wind, rain, temperature. Obviously, extreme heat or extreme cold affects these batteries. That's understandable, but I'm just telling you the honest to God truth. These cars, not EVs in general, these cars, they're absolute shit. And the reason why they're shit, it really comes down to two things, and both of them are fixable. One, the GPS that guides you to all of these chargers that don't work. Let me ask you something. I am not the most technologically advanced person. I'm going to start by telling you something. All right. I have a lot of people who are like, Randy, you don't know what you're doing. You should have plugged the car in first. You should have held your card on the reader longer. You should have done. That's wonderful. I am not a really high-tech kind of guy. Okay. In fact, my car preference is something from the 60s and the 50s. All right. I am 45 years old, and I just don't care for all of the technology. I enjoy it, but it's not something I really need in my life. Now, if you fix one thing, you could fix most of the problems with this car. Do you know what that is? That is being able to charge at regular Tesla chargers. Now, on my road trip, I charged twice at Tesla chargers, both of them in the same place, at a Buc-ee's in Springfield, Missouri. That is a special Tesla charger. There are only a select few of those special chargers around the country. Those are called Magic Dock chargers. Okay, a lot of people think Tesla is Tesla. There's not. Tesla has chargers for Tesla vehicles, and then they have these special Magic Dock chargers for every other kind of electric vehicle, and they are few and far between across the country. In fact, just for an example, there's only one of them between my house in Oklahoma and my other house in Indiana. That is 700 miles on I-44. There's one Tesla Magic Dock charger. So that gives you an idea of how rare it is to find those. So what you do to fix that is you work out a deal with Tesla, just like General Motors has, just like Mercedes-Benz has, just like every other Ford, every other car manufacturer seems to have worked out a deal where they can use regular Tesla chargers. If you did that one thing, Dodge, one fucking thing, this car would be 199% better. Like, this would be something you could actually use. Let me tell you why Tesla's on top. It's not because they make better cars. It's not. I've owned a lot of Teslas. They used to be great. Now they're okay. And a lot of people are going to get pissed off about that. But that's the truth. The quality control in Tesla has gone to the shitter. All right. They used to be really well built. Now Tesla is so focused on mass production that the quality has gone out the window. Man, I had that nice low mileage 3,000 mile Model S Plaid. That car came with rattles, trim pieces falling off. This piece was falling off. That piece was falling. Come on, man. On a car that's that expensive, not acceptable. This right here, believe it or not, mechanically, like, this is a well-built car, at least as far as the last 6,000 miles have gone. I don't have any rattles. I don't have any funny noises, clunks, clinks, suspension issues, nothing. This is a well-built car. The problem is the charging infrastructure is just not there. If only Dodge had worked a handshake out with Tesla, where you could drive this car up to any Tesla supercharger, just like every other manufacturer has done, this car would be perfect. Aside from the price, you lower the price some, and this car would be perfect. But it's killing it because you can't charge on the Tesla network. You have to rely on these hit or miss chargers all over the country, where if you get there and you've got 10 miles left, and remember, I showed up with 1 mile remaining, and it happened to be twice, all right? If you show up to that charger and it doesn't work, even though it says it works, and it's broken, you're done. You're out. You know what that means? That means you got to call a tow truck. And a tow truck is going to have to get you and tow you to another charger that may or may not work. And then, once you've killed the battery to the point that the car is completely flat, at that point, it may already be too late. You could try to plug it into a charger and you may have damaged something. It may not charge. It may end up needing to go to a dealership. These are things that don't happen with gas cars. So shove this EV, this Dodge Charger's the best thing up your ass. All right? It's not. It's a lie. They're great for certain things. They're fun. They're generally speaking, they're faster. They're quicker. They're amazing to drive. The torque, the instant torque, when you hit that throttle and the seat throws you back, it is phenomenal. But it's not the same as a gas car, because a gas car can run out of gas. You can run a diesel out of gas. Even though you'll lose your prime, you can run a diesel out of fuel, and you can get towed, or you can have somebody just bring you. Better than being towed, you can have somebody just bring you a few gallons of diesel or a few gallons of gasoline. You can pour it in your car, and you turn the key, and as long as your pump didn't burn up, which can happen, but generally it doesn't happen, you are back on the road again. You cannot run your EV out of electricity, call AAA, and have them bring you 5 kilowatts of electricity for your car. It just doesn't happen, man. So those of you that are just like, you can't take any criticism, you just can't accept that there are limitations, that there are actually negative aspects to an EV, You need to go suck on an orange, man. I mean, seriously, you got like brain damage or something because you're so full of shit you can't even see straight. Now, I don't want to make the whole video like just bashing EVs because that's not what I'm trying to do here. That's just for those fringe group of people, you know, that can't see anything wrong. This car, this Dodge Charger, is perfect. Never had a problem with it. Get out of here, man. There's no way. No way. There's no way you can honestly say you traveled across the country, you've put thousands and thousands of miles driving across the country, and you've never experienced a problem with this car. I refuse to believe it, and I will sit here and I will die on this hill. Okay, I will die on this hill. You are a liar. You are spewing fake propaganda to make yourself feel better. I don't know, because I know Dodge isn't paying you anything, all right? You're saying something just to make yourself feel better about your purchase. Whatever, that's your problem. There's something wrong in the head there with you. I'm here to tell you how it is, man. If the car is great, I'll tell you it's great. If it sucks, I'll tell you it sucks. In this particular case, my personal experience with this car has been, this car, it's just disappointed me to the max. If we could just get the charging situation figured out, I would trust and love this car so much more. As it stands now, though, I don't see that happening. I don't know why Dodge doesn't want to get in cahoots with Tesla and work it out to where we can take these EVs and actually have reliable charging, you know? Easy mapping to all the Tesla locations. It would open up a whole new world of possibilities for them. But for whatever reason, they're not interested. You guys want to have a little fun? Let's do power shot and launch. Oh man. All right. That's enough of that. Oh, it is a fun car, man. It is exhilarating. This thing is so much fun to drive. My biggest concern, though, is that mileage dropping right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive all the way down to AAR headquarters, and we're going to find out together, we're already down to 215, if the range is real or if it's actually going to like correct itself, and it's not looking like it, guys. We're already down to 214, and I know, yeah, we just smashed on it, guys, but I've done this over and over again, and that quick little jolt, that shouldn't have dropped the range that far. All right, guys, we made it down to AAR headquarters. I had to do a little cleaning up and unload a couple things, but why don't we see where the car is at now, and we'll find out how many miles this thing's actually losing. Whew, it's hot out there. Down to 86%. And the verdict is we have 188 miles of range left. We've driven 39.2 miles, so let's just call it 40, just to make it easy. Okay, so 188 plus 40 is 228 miles. So better than 217, but it's still not 250 miles, guys. So again, I don't know where all the mileage went. I don't know what's going on. Am I going to take it to the dealer? Absolutely not. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am done going to the dealer for a while, man. I have no interest in going back to the dealership. Again, if this is my personal car that I really cared about, then would I go back to the dealer? Yes. If I had, ooh, I cut myself pretty good. If I had spent $80,000 of my own money on this car, would I go back to the dealer? In a heartbeat, I'd go. I don't care about this car. For better or worse, it doesn't matter. I want to tell you guys the good, bad, and the ugly, because I just truthfully don't care. It just doesn't matter to me. I have no skin in the game because it's a lease. This isn't my car, and I'm not trying to save face because I made a bad decision and I want to make myself look better to some of those out there that are trying to do the same thing. It just doesn't matter to me. So for better or worse, you're going to find out everything there is to find out about this car. If the mileage continues to go significantly down, then yes, I will take it to the dealer. If we have any fault lights that come on, any warnings that come up, yes, I'll take it to the dealer and we'll obviously report on that. But aside from that, no. You know what I'm going to do to this car right now? Let me tell you what I'm going to do with this car right now. Right now, I'm going to turn off the emergency brake. I'm going to put it in drive. Watch. This is what we're gonna do with the car. You guys ready for this? Y'all are gonna be surprised at what I'm about to do to this car. All right, here we go. Oh, it's coming. I'm not showing you because I want to see the reaction on your face. I'm gonna surprise you guys right now. You're not gonna see this coming. Here we go. Ready? You ready for the big reveal? Are you ready? You guys are never gonna see this coming. Boom! We parked it in the front yard. and that's what we're gonna do with it. It's gonna sit next to the Prowler. It's gonna sit next to the Galaxie 500, which by the way, I do believe will be going into paint here, well, pretty soon. We'll have an update to this car before too long, guys. I've got some new wheels. I got some new tires. It's gonna come back looking good, guys. And I think after a paint job, anybody wanna guess what color it's gonna get painted? I'll bet 99% of you that know me get it right. And for whatever reason, I decided to park the 6 Series up front too. I don't know, it's a sharp looking car. I think it's a good looking car. So I decided to put this sucker up front with these other interesting cars as well. With that, I'm here for a reason today, guys. You know what that reason is? It's simply to drop off this horrible car and pick up something more reliable. Today, I'm gonna drive the Ram. That's right, I'm almost to 1,000 miles on this thing. I've got to get it to 1,000 miles so I can actually do real towing with it. I'm about to upgrade to a new, I forgot what it's called. A new trailer hitch. Or maybe that's not what it's called. Not the receiver hitch, the ball thing. I'm gonna get a new, I don't remember what it's called, but I'll have to come back and do a review. I'm paying for it with my own money. It's not a sponsored deal, so you'll get an honest review as you always do from me. But a lot of people think it's biased if someone sponsors it. It's not. If I pay for something, it's going to be an honest review. If somebody gives me something to review, it's an honest review. I am not forced to say things that aren't true whenever I do reviews. But we're going to get a new, whatever that is, drop hitch? Drop hitch, it's what it is. New drop hitch, and this one is called the Boss series, and it's got like these torsion bars built in, these rubber torsion bars that allow the trailer and the truck to flex separately from one another. It's supposed to reduce the, cab vibrations and trailer vibrations by 90%. Doesn't matter if you're hauling cars, doesn't matter if you're hauling lawn equipment, 90% reduction in trailer and cab vibrations that are felt. That's huge. With that, guys, are all my cars still? Yeah, they're all, damn it, they're all still here. Suburban sold. Jason, you got yourself a nice 200,000 mile Suburban. I hope you enjoy it, man. Another gentleman, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants me to or not, but he purchased the Escalade. Now, before everybody gets their panties in a wad, yes, the Suburban was sold to Jason, who owns a dealership. And the Escalade is sold to somebody who's purchased other cars from me, but guess what? Yes, it's through a dealership. And you know what I just noticed? The guys that came out, they detailed a few of my cars for me. They left the sunroof open. Thank God it has not rained. There's been no, it's locked too, yeah. It has not rained. I appreciate those gentlemen for coming out here and making an attempt to detail my vehicles, but unfortunately I will not be calling them to come back out here again. Unfortunately, I wish it had worked out better, but it just didn't. But anyway, I think the gentleman that purchased this got himself a nice truck, and again, all done legitimately through dealerships, the way it's supposed to be. And hopefully, if all goes well, I have an appointment with the state of Oklahoma here really soon, and with any luck, cross your fingers, we're going to have us a retail dealership soon. So do me a favor, if y'all enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.